Hi there, I'm Bonnie McCaffrey, and thank you so much for coming back this month for another VidCast. I am really excited, and I think you're really going to enjoy this. This is Melissa Sobotka, who is the big prize winner here in Houston, and let me tell you, her quilt is spectacular. Can you tell us about your winning quilt?
My winning quilt is called Chihuly's Gondola. It's based on a photograph I took at the Dallas Arboretum last year of his exhibit. It was a temporary installation. And it was just magnificent what he does with color. And
It is.
it was something that I knew that I could look at for several months and work on.
Yeah, yeah. And oh my gosh, it's just gorgeous. Those glass balls look like they're glass balls, and they're really fiber. They're just fabric.
Right.
So what is the technique basically?
The technique is I take a photograph, put it on my computer, mess with it quite a bit, and enlarge it, and make a pattern out of it on freezer paper, and then just start cutting away shapes out of batiks. And I do raw edge fused applique, and then on this piece, when the fabrics weren't quite right, I would enhance a little bit with some ink.
Yeah, wow. The result is stunning.
Thank you.
Well, I got to take Melissa to lunch. Actually, I should rephrase that. She took me to lunch. But after talking with her a while and I got to see some of her other quilts, that's when I knew I really needed to bring her back here and do an interview with her. So we're going to take a look at some of her other pieces, and I think you're really going to enjoy those. So let's start with this one, Angel of Compassion. Tell me about that quilt.
This was the first quilt I ever did. It was after
Really?
I had done a series of banners for my church. And someone told me that if I just put some batting in between those layers and started stitching a little more, I would have a quilt. And someone mentioned what an art quilt was. I'd never heard of an art quilt. And I took some of the scraps left over from that project and made this one, put it in a gallery, and it sold. And so I thought, okay, maybe there is something to this.
There is something to this. So let's take a look at some more of your pieces. I see you have an angel thing. I love angels, and I think they're gorgeous. And this is a beautiful piece. So who is this? Angel Watching Over Me.
Yes, that name came from, I hadn't told you this, I don't feel like I'm a really good drafter, and so I needed subjects for my pieces. Well, I started going to cemeteries and photographing the statues of angels and turning them into quilts.
Okay, so we have a new place that we can go for inspiration. We're going to go to the cemetery.
Well, and they're really good models. They don't move.
They don't at all.
So I did this piece, and when it came time to give it a title, I realized I didn't know who this angel was, and I couldn't see its face, and it hit me that I couldn't see its face because it was watching me. So that's where it came from. This was taken from a mandala in some church in Russia, I think. It was just a pattern in a book, and it just turned it into a quilt.
So you're finding inspiration everywhere. I love this. Angel of Ross Avenue.
My church that I go to is on Ross Avenue, and this is one of the windows in the church. The angel's not there. The church was built when, well, the Depression hit when the church was being built, and they had to change and not do all the lovely stained glass. And so I always wanted to have a stained glass window, and so of course, my model for the angel was from a cemetery, but it's in the window now.
Okay. Well, I'm going to start going to the cemetery more.
It's really quiet.
It's really quiet, and there's perfect models there.
Yeah, yeah.
So, angels dancing on the pin, at the head of a pin. Wow.
I've always heard that, was it 1,000 angels or more can dance on the head of a pin, and so I just said, I started playing with some Angelina fibers and Tyvek and messing around, and that's what it evolved into.
So what kind of fabric are they made of?
Well, the gold ones are the Tyvek, and the shiny ones are the Angelina
Melted?
film
Oh, okay.
that you melt, yeah.
Okay. So is the texture just because of the stitching?
Mhm.
Oh, perfect. That
Mhm.
is just perfect. This is gorgeous, inner peace, and she does really look calm and
Well, it's because she's from the
Peaceful.
cemetery.
yes, that is a peaceful
And
place.
the backing of it is all a one piece. It was a cloth that I found that I just loved. And you can't see it really in the photograph, but it has a lot of embellishments on it, different beadwork that I put on there.
Cool. All right, Archangel Uriel.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you say it?
Uriel. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Uriel means bringer of light. When I would pick these angels in the cemetery, I didn't know who they were, and then I would read books on descriptions of angels, and then I would find their names.
Yeah. All right, Holy Spirit. Look, it looks like a window to me, stained glass window.
Well, this one is based on a Tiffany window. Tiffany did this in stained glass, and this one is in batiks and velvet.
Wow. I know velvet is not fun to work with.
No.
Will you ever work with velvet again?
No.
No. I did it once. Never, ever.
No.
It does not cooperate. This is gorgeous. Archangel
Haniel.
Haniel. Now, who is Haniel?
Haniel is like the moon goddess. She's very calm. It seemed to be her. And this was all out of, well, the back part of it is batik, but she is out of satin.
Wow. Another fun fabric to work with. Okay, so how long have you been quilting?
Just about 6.5 years. And so a lot of these were me just exploring
Absolutely.
and learning about fabrics and trying different methods that I didn't know couldn't work.
Right. So would you work with satin again?
Yes.
Okay. The results are stunning. It's a little slippery.
Mhm.
So is this the moon in the back of
Yes.
her? Yeah.
Mhm.
What's she holding?
I think it's a trumpet.
Okay. Yeah. Beautiful. She looks lonely. Oh, sister of Assisi.
Yeah. I went to Italy, and when I was at Assisi, I was at was it Cathedral St. Francis there at Assisi?
I haven't been to Italy yet.
And
Yeah.
I looked down, and I saw this one nun walking across this patterned courtyard that looked like a quilt. I
Yeah.
will say this was my one attempt at piecing. It's my last attempt at piecing. But then she is just appliqued on there, and I really loved her because she had this, beautiful garment on with her tennis shoes sticking out.
Oh my God.
She just was
That
spunky.
that is funny. Couple more angels. Now, what's going on here in this little center? A prayer for Sister Fiat.
Those were some nuns I met when I went to see the Pope and hear him speak, and they were very kind to me and translated the whole service, and
Aw,
so
nice.
I made them into a quilt.
Yeah. And of course, there's a few angels in the
Mhm,
sky there.
mhm.
Oh, is this music?
That is a copy of what he read.
Oh, how nice. Now, who is that?
That's me.
That is you. With your red hair?
With my red hair. I've always wanted
It's
to
a
have
dream.
red hair. Yes, it is my little fantasy. And so I put on some red hair and a garment I had created when I was in the ballet Sleeping Beauty with my daughter years ago.
Oh.
So
That's right. You said you're a ballet dancer. Any ballet quilts?
No, not yet.
Not yet. Good.
Not yet.
So the little fairies going around, what are they doing?
Well, this one's my favorite down here. He is like the knight in shining armor. Instead of a sword, he has scissors, and he's charging another little angel with a pincushion.
Oh, perfect.
Not angel, sorry, fairy.
A fairy, yeah.
They're just very whimsical and fun.
They are.
These two are dancing with some
Oh,
measuring tape.
The measuring tape, yeah.
And this one's holding up some thread for me.
Yeah.
It's almost like they're bringing me my inspiration.
Yeah, yeah, wow. And the horse is just there?
It's a unicorn. It's just for good luck. 'Cause it's,
Absolutely.
Sure.
Yeah. So what else is going on in here?
Well, all the fairies are pretty much dancers. You can find Jean Kelly in here, Isadora Duncan.
Really?
And my daughter is right above my shoulder.
Yeah, yeah. And this one here, what's this one doing? Anything
She's
special?
just dancing.
She's just dancing, yeah.
Mhm.
And the cardinal?
The cardinal is my sign for my father. He always said that he would guide me in my artwork, and so I put him there on my shoulder.
Wow, he's just right
Mhm.
over your shoulder guiding you. I have to say, Melissa, your quilts are gorgeous, and I love that they have these stories in them.
I had used Leslie Riley's transfer artist paper and was starting to dabble in that.
Yeah.
Because it's one way of just doing a collage and getting a lot of images down at
Yeah.
one time.
So these are all photographs that have been transferred
Right.
onto fabric.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's great. This is a gorgeous window, and it just looks so real. Is it like, did you just print a photograph on a big piece of fabric?
The central piece where the bars are, that was photographed printed on poplin.
Oh
The
my
rest
gosh.
is just batiks that I put
So,
around it.
so is this pieced?
It's just raw edge.
It's just raw edge,
Mhm.
okay. Wow, I would really love to see that in person. This looks like you're still back in Italy.
It is.
You had a good trip.
I
Good
did.
photographic trip.
I did.
Any cemeteries?
Yes, but
Yeah.
I went to San Michele, which is an island. It's just a cemetery, and did a lot of photographs there.
Cool. Now, this is probably the one that really just captures me. I mean, there's so much to look at in this quilt, so I'm hoping, that there's a lot that you'll tell me about what's going on in the quilt. So first of all, what is the quilt about?
We were in Venice one evening, and we were wandering the little streets trying to find the opera house. And we came across this store window that I thought was a masterpiece in just display. It has so many masks in it. I have trouble counting how many masks are in there.
Wow.
And other just really odd items and old master paintings. Now, when I did create this, it is all made from batiks, but I didn't feel like I should be an old master, so I did print those paintings on poplin, and put them in the frames.
Awesome. So these are all masks.
Mhm.
What's going on in here?
That's like a cabinet of curios, like little bottles.
Yeah.
There's even rolled up pieces of paper in there.
So is this photo transfer or collaging or your technique of cutting and fusible?
It's all cutting
It's
and fusing.
cutting and fusing. And so, but the paintings
The
have been
paintings
printed.
have been printed.
It is a stunning work of art. Do you have formal training?
I have always been an artist, and then when I went to college, I got a degree in fine art.
Beautiful, just gorgeous, fantastic. Well, I have to say, your work is a treat, and I'm so glad that you took me to lunch so that I could find out all about you and see your beautiful
I've
quilts.
been so glad to meet you.
Oh my God, it's been fantastic. So let me throw you a trick question.
Okay.
What is your philosophy of life?
Philosophy of life. Well, it changes, but right now it's just to be a light and an inspiration to others.
Yeah, and I am sure that you are. Thank you so much for doing this interview with
Thank you,
me.
Bonnie.
And thank you all. I hope you'll come back next month to see what I have for you then. Thanks for being with me.